Hello and welcome to this lesson where we're going to look at what parallel and perpendicular lines are. So, parallel lines. These are when we have two lines which will never touch. So, if the lines continued forever and ever and ever, they would go on and they would never touch each other. So they're always going to be the same distance apart. So that's what a parallel line is. Another side thing to note is that they have to be in the same plane. So if we had a line, let's say this part of the cube, and then we had a line here on a different plane, yes, these lines will never touch. This one goes backwards, but it's below this one, even though it looks like it crosses. This one continues out there. So those lines never touch, but they're on different planes, so they're not parallel. However, this line here is parallel to this one because they're on the same plane, or in this example, the same face of the cube. It's not something to worry too much about, but that's a more formal definition. Basically, all you need to know is that they're two lines that would never touch even if they went forever. So we draw what a parallel line is using these arrows, and the number of arrows tell us which lines are parallel. So the green ones have just one arrow each, which means that they're parallel to each other. The yellow ones are also parallel, and that's why they have two yellow arrows. Okay, so here we have this line here is going to be parallel to this one. And the way that we would write that, or let's say how we would say it first. So this line here is AB. We looked at that a while ago. And this here is CD. Now we would say that AB is parallel to CD because they have the same amount of these arrows, so we know they're parallel. We could then write that as AB is parallel. This line, this symbol here just means it's parallel to CD. So you can think of it as this symbol is really a set of parallel lines. So if our lines are parallel, it's just a small symbol. But we always have the lines in this direction. AB is parallel to CD. Okay, so now I'll give you a chance. Can you work out which two lines here are parallel? Okay, so when we're looking at which lines are parallel, we're looking for a matching number of arrows. And in this case, the only number of arrows that match are these two and the two of EF. You can also look at it quickly and see that this line here, the CD line, you can see that CD is definitely going a different direction to EF and AB. So you can tell that it's not going to be parallel. So here we would write AB is parallel to EF. So now we're going to look at what perpendicular lines are. They're any two lines which meet at a right angle. So remember, we draw a right angle as this little square symbol, and that means 90 degrees. So the two lines that meet at 90 degrees. And you could move it along there. Those two lines are meeting at 90 degrees the whole time, so we know that line AB is going to be perpendicular to line EF. Now, how do we write these? So we would say it as AB, this line here, is perpendicular to EF, the line along here. And we would write it as AB is perpendicular to EF. So this little symbol here means, or is said, is perpendicular to, and it's just like a symbol of a line that is perpendicular to another line. It's always drawn in that orientation. We can't just draw it like this, but you can remember it as we have this line is perpendicular to this line because of this little thing here. So that's how we would write that these two lines are perpendicular. Okay, so your turn. Can you tell me which line is perpendicular to the line DF? Okay, so we have our line DF along here. The line that's perpendicular to it will have a right angle. So we see that we have this right angle here on the line AG. So you could say that DF is perpendicular to AG. Okay, so we have some questions to finish up this lesson. First of all, what line is parallel to AE? Okay, so this is line AE. Remember that we work out what lines are parallel to each other by how many arrows they are, not just that they have arrows. So here we would have one arrow, a line parallel to AB would have one arrow, but we're looking for AE. So AE has two arrows, we're looking for a line parallel to it. And we see that here, two arrows are on BC. So BC is the line parallel to AE. Now, how would we write this? Okay, so we would write our line AE, and then remember, is parallel are these two lines here. So is parallel to BC. Alright, next question. What line is perpendicular to AE? Okay, so again, we're using the same line here, AE, and we're looking for a line which is perpendicular to it. So that means it cuts it at 90 degrees. We have here our 90-degree symbol, or our right angle symbol. So we're looking at the line that cuts, and it's going to be this one, AB. So AB is our line which is perpendicular to AE. Finally, how should we write this? So we end up with AE, and we're going to have AB, and we're writing is perpendicular to, so we have this symbol like this. So I hope that lesson's made sense. This is the content we've covered. If you have any questions, please bring them to me. Thank you.